On July 7, 1947, Novi Township purchased Dodge Brothers Park No. 2 from the state of Michigan for $1. Dodge Park eventually became Lakeshore Park.
Actually, that was an old campground. It was one of the Dodge 6, I think it was. It was a campground at one time. So it became, we had a lot of work to do over there because we needed a beach. We didn't have much in the way of a beach. So Lakeshore Park, I think, was really our first real park.
By the time Novi became a city in 1969, people were used to hunting and spending plenty of time outdoors.
And you had to watch out for the pheasant hunters during October because they would be coming through the cornfields along 10 Mile and stuff. And you tried to hurry back past those cornfields because the hunters were in there.
Paul Bosco, I'm sure you've all heard this name, had the property over here. And on the vacant property he built himself ball diamonds, so that's where the Novi Little League was at. But Paul Bosco put in those diamonds, and they started the Little Leagues for his boys and then everybody after that. And it was a very kind and generous thing that he did for the city. But then when we started Parks and Rec, it took all of that over, and there was no more Little League anymore.
In 1978, the city of Novi officially launched a new Parks and Recreation program.
I was one of the 6 of us that started the Novi Parks and Recreation. The first things we had in Parks and Recreation were women's volleyball and co-ed volleyball. We were excited when we started the Parks and Rec program because there was nothing at all, especially for adults.
It wasn't long before the city acquired historic property that would expand the park system even more. The Walt Lake Casino and amusement park properties were purchased and combined to make what is now Pavilion Shore Park.
When we did that, we were able to put the two properties together, vacate Novi Road, and reroute East Lake Drive and South Lake Drive around the property. So, they got a nice park up there today with a pavilion, and, that's a special piece of property. A lot of history there.
In 1993, the citizens of Novi approved a $9.9 million bond issue, adding 400 acres of parkland, including Lakeshore Park's trails, Wildlife Woods Park, and expanding Community Sports Park. In 1997, the city acquired another important property. This time, it was an historic farmstead. Jacob and Rebecca First purchased their Novi farm and orchard in 1918. Eventually, the area changed and lost its agricultural focus. In 1973, Iva and Ruby First sold most of the family's 160-acre farm to be used for municipal purposes.
The whole Civic Center campus was a farm. And the First family sold sections of it to the city and then to the school district, and then the house remained.
Iva and Ruby lived in the family home on the remaining 5 acres until 1991. The city acquired the property in 1997 and eventually created a public park in honor of the family.
We, were able to decide and think, again, how can we use this property better? And it was decided because there's the high school there's the Civic Center campus, the library's right there, it'd make a wonderful park with an amphitheater. So we moved the old Township Hall, which is 100 years old, and used it as a backdrop for the amphitheater. We built an amphitheater, and there's also a very large area, used to be a soccer field, along Taft Road in front of the high school.
Another iconic feature of the Novi Park system is the Tim Pope play structure. Built by a team of volunteers in 1997, the play structure is a tribute to a former city councilman.
This is something that he had talked about doing, and I thought there was no better way to remember him than a play structure.
We decided to go with this project because it was more of a community-oriented type project rather than just buying a play structure and having somebody else build it. We wanted to bring the whole community together to put it together as a unit.
In 2007, Novi-based ITC Holdings donated naming rights in the amount of $500,000 through the Novi Parks Foundation. And in 2008, Community Sports Park was rededicated as ITC Community Sports Park. Today, Novi is 31 square miles with over 1,200 acres of parkland and dozens of programs serving over 180,000 users every year.